Welcome to part 3 of my series of editing, and today we're going to talk about developmental edits. Now, developmental edits are my weak point, so I'm going to apologize in advance. Developmental edits are the type of elements that focus on the characters and the plot and the story. They're not nitpicking words and paragraphs, but they're looking at how scenes become puzzle pieces of the big picture of the book. In developmental edits, you may delete or add an entire chapter. You may try to make the reader feel more empathetic towards a certain character, or even more angry at a character. You might work on foreshadowing your twist at the end. These are the types of edits that focus on storytelling. And as a fairly new author, I feel like this is where I've grown the most. I feel like English class gave me a lot of experience on working on smaller pieces of writing, but it never taught me how to properly pace an 80,000 word novel. If you want to get better at developmental editing, I'm sure there are a million and one videos out there to go watch. And go watch Brandon Sanderson's lectures on YouTube, please, they're amazing. But I think the thing that's helped me learn developmental editing the most is writing a book and then reading a bunch. You see, once you write and edit a book, whether you publish it or not, you start to read a bit like a writer. And you authors out there know that can have some downfalls. But as a reader, you often feel things more subtly. But when you start to read as a writer, you start to notice things a lot more consciously. So for example, I might read a book where I feel a lot of empathy towards the main character. But when I reread that book with the eyes of a writer, I notice what the author put in the book to make me feel empathy towards the character. As a reader, I just see that emotion. But as a writer, I see the tangible steps that author took to cause that emotion. So rereading books with the eyes of a writer can really help you with developmental edits. Seeing what other authors you love did in their stories helps you learn what to do in yours. Now, I mentioned earlier that reading with the eyes of a writer also has its downfalls, because sometimes you subconsciously start to edit the book you're trying to read for fun. And it's frustrating, but it is an inevitable part of the process. I hope that helps with developmental edits, but I'll be talking about line edits and copy edits next, so like and follow if you want to see the next video.